I don't know if it's reading books of magic. They're sold in the stores all over. Some are called Bibles, some are called sutras, called all sorts of names. But I do know that the magic doesn't work unless you got the magic inside of you to make it work. Other than that, it's just been somebody who sits in the chair and looks at the road map to New York, but doesn't have the magic to get to New York. And so the road map's fun, and it's just more information. It's just more stuff that you got to be accountable for. It's just more shuck that you've got to stay involved with until we clutter this consciousness so that when we go to have a conversation with somebody, it's cluttered and we jump and jump and jump and jump. You've heard often when people are doing something, we say, time. What does that mean? It means stop bouncing the ball and sit down for a second. It's a rest period. You got to get some more instructions. That means shut up and listen to the coach. Who's the coach? The one that brings in the money. Did you hear that, parents? If your kid goes out and starts bringing in $5,000 a month, I'd start listening. How did you do that? What's the magic? How does that happen? Don't be afraid to learn, because if they've got it, they've got it, and it doesn't matter how old you are. But the true magic is the ability of transformation. And a lot of people often look at transformation as a strange phenomena. But in transformation is always the essence of that you're going towards. In a piece of coal, there is the essence of fire. You understand that? You just got to get it hot enough to get it moving. And then it transforms itself. In the fire is the essence of smoke. So our transformations are not radical things, but it takes a radical point of view to do it. Not a rebellious point of view. You can't walk up to the giver of life and be a rebel. You walk up to the giver of life and get what you can get. And look, if there's only one fountain and there's a long line up to it, maybe you better check for water in some other places. It doesn't hurt to look around. It doesn't hurt to check. But look, if you're in the desert and you're by the fountain of water in the desert and there's none for you, don't know how far around, I wouldn't stray too far from the source of your water. Let's look at that in terms of the water of life that's inside of you. We stray from the Spirit, the life-giving essence, by going into strange thoughts, yelling, screaming at people, defending our mind, defending our emotions. Well, I felt this and I felt that, so therefore. People tell me that and I say, well, so you felt it, so what? Are your feelings always accurate? It's always been a trick question. And of course the answer when they say no, person asked me, I said, are your feelings always accurate? And they said, well, are your feelings always accurate? And I said, yes. They said, mine are too. And I said, betcha. They said, okay. I don't gamble. If I bet, you can almost know for sure I already got it won. Because there's no need to gamble. I mean, we've got a sure thing. Why gamble? And I said, tell me what you're feeling now. And the person did. They said, no, that wasn't quite it. They said, okay, tell me what you're feeling. I said, feeling the room, feeling the heat, feeling the cold. They said, anything else? I said, I'm not about to put a label on it until it comes and tells me what it is. He said, oh, I get it. Your feelings are always accurate, but the interpretations we put on them might not be accurate. I said, you got me. That's it. Feelings are always accurate. They're accurate because they just feel what they feel. What you interpret them and what you do with them is the problem. You say, well, what do you do with yours? I said, I use them to get me information. When I sit on attack, I feel that. You get the point? Oh, I didn't want to be tacky with you, but I wanted you to listen. This is not pun time, this is fun time. When we feel what we feel, or we smell what we smell, all that is in truth that we smell. And we say, oh no, it's roses. Somebody else says, no, it's gardenias. Somebody else says, well, it's more like body odor. And others say, well, it's this or it's that. And we say, well, what is it? You see, that we smell is that we smell. Until we can all agree upon what that is, we have difficulties. And feelings are not a thing that we get agreement on what that is. It's something we feel. And not always something you do something with. I can give you some examples. They're not the best in the world, but they'll be the best right now. After I give it to you, knowing how smart you people are, you'll come up with a lot of good ones. That's fine with me. Do you ever feel thirsty and not get a drink of water? Do you ever feel like having sex with somebody and you don't? You get the idea? You can feel a lot of things and not move on it or have to do something with it. I know some things you'll feel more bad about if you don't than others, but I mean, who knows? Maybe the water would have been real nice. I think I hooked you all on that. Well, I've said in a lot of seminars, if you're going to hook somebody, hook them good. Get right in there and hook them in their heart. Let them know that you're in there with them and that you care and that you're willing to be part of their life, but you're not willing to be part of their personality disturbance. I'm willing to be part of your life. What part do you want? The good part, for goodness sake. Well, to get the good, you got to get the bad that goes with it. Go someplace else. But a few minutes ago, you said the coin. I said, keep flipping it. When I go to see people for professional help, often I look at them and I'll say, one thing we've got to get clear. And they'll say, what's that? I say, you're working for me. And they don't like that idea because I got to be the patient or the client. I said, I'm the banker. And I'm willing to give it all to you and willing to cooperate with you, and you're working for me, and here's the things that we're going to work with. This headache, this backache, this leg ache, this. And now I'm giving it over to you, and I'm just going to follow your directions. And if they can't get me well, I'm going to get well in spite of them. Why? Because that's what I want. That's what I'm going to do. Are there any other choices? Pain. Anything else? Love. Do you have a choice? What's your choice going to be? Berush Beishan.
John Rogers' closing words were Berush Beishan, which means the blessings already are. The blessings, the ideas, and the concepts which you've heard are just a small part of the abundance of material John Roger has shared with us over the years. If you would like a free book by John Roger, Journey of a Soul, call this number, 1-800-899-2665. You can send email to servicedesk@msia.org or write to That Which Is, Post Office Box 513935, Los Angeles, California, zip code 90051-1935. This has been That Which Is with John Roger. Thanks for joining us.